You know, sometimes you just want something easy, breezy, and not tasking to make. And just like my last tutorial where I shared how you can draft and sew a pretty maxi dress for yourself, the link is right on top of your screen if you haven't yet seen that before. And today I'm going to be showing you something a little bit like that and that will be how to make this pretty oversized butterfly blouse. And the best part of this is that you don't even need to draft any patterns to make this. So welcome back to my channel, guys, and let's head right in. So for today's oversized butterfly blouse, this is the fabric I'll be using. So I have 3 yards of fabric here. So I don't know yet if I'm going to be exhausting all of this or I'm still going to have a little bit left over. So yeah, the first thing I'm going to be doing is to measure how long I want my blouse to be. So for me, I want it at nothing more than 17.5 inches. So I'm going to measure that 17.5 inches lengthwise here, depending on how you want the pattern of your fabric to fall, because I want mine to fall vertically. If I want it to fall like horizontally, I'm going to measure the length this way, but since I want it to fall vertically, I'm going to measure it this way. So before I forget, you are not going to measure the full 17.5 inches on this fabric, because we are going to be using, I want to use like a plain fabric for the hem around here. So the plain fabric is going to be like let's say 1.5 inches. So I'm going to take out 1.5 inches out of that 17.5 inches, and that is going to give me 18 inches here. I said 18, that's going to give me 16 inches rather. So take out 1.5 from 17.5 is going to give me 16 inches. So that 16 inches, I'm just going to add half inch to it, and that is the allowance to join it to my black fabric. So I'll measure 16.5 right here. So at this point here, you can just use your chalk to mark that down. So I'm going to have double, that is my front and back together. So this is it. So let me just remeasure this just to know that I have my accurate 16.5 inches, or I remark it if I don't. So once you have this, that is the length of your blouse, you fold it once more this way. So it makes it, you fold it once more like this way. So you have like 4 pieces. So now that I have it in 4s, you can see I folded my fabric in 4. I'm going to remeasure this just to make sure that this has not shifted. That is the length of my blouse. So I'm going to remeasure my 16.5, and yeah, this is it. So now for the width of your blouse, that is how wide your blouse would be. From here, we'll be taking our measurements from here. So you get the biggest measurement, since the biggest measurement for my blouse is my bust. So I'm just going to get that my bust, and then I'll add 20 inches to that, because I want it like really long. So I'm going to add 20 inches to that, and then I will divide, because I want it really wide rather, and that will give me 56, because my bust is 36. So plus 20, that's going to give me 56. So 56 divided by 2, that's going to give me 28. So I'm going to measure 28 here, 28 this way. So this is what my fabric would look like. So from here down here is the length of my blouse, and from here this way is the width of my blouse. So I have 16.5 inches this way, and I have 28 inches this way. So now this is complete. So all I have to do now is to draft in my neckline. Now for the neckline is only going to be in front. So I'm going to locate the middle point of my blouse here, because I'm not going to be cutting a neckline for the back. So once I locate that, I'm going to open it up. If you're using a slippery fabric, just you can pin it down, or you can do something like this instead. So I decided to fold it this way just to make it easier for me to cut the neckline of the front. So this entire part here is the front, and this entire part here is the back. You can pin it down just so it doesn't move around. So to do the neckline, from here I'm just going to come in by 2 inches or 2.5 inches. Now depending on how plunging, how deep you want your neckline to be. So for me, I'm just going to do like let's say 9 inches. So that's how deep my neckline will be. So I'm going to connect from here. So right, 2.5 inches from here, 9 inches down. So because the neckline wasn't yet giving me, it wasn't yet giving what I wanted it to give, I tried to like go down more. So I increased it to like 1.5 inches. So in total I have like 11 inches neck depth here. So you can decide to go lower, depends on you and how deep you want the neckline to be. So you can do 12, you can even stop here, or you even decide to like open it up all the way, and leave like just a little bit, maybe like 1 inch here. It all depends on how deep, but for me it's already fine at 11 inches here. Now opened up, this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like, my front bit. So all I have to do is just cut a facing to turn all of these parts inside, and then I'll come right here and fold this part in by, I'll come right to the side and fold by 1 inch, and do the same also to the other side here. So for the band at the waist, I'm going to be using this stretchy crepe fabric. So you can either use any type of stretchy fabric you use. You can use also a cotton fabric, but I'm not so sure if it's not going to be an hindrance when you want to wear your blouse. So I just feel it will not be like, it might be a bit difficult for you to wear the blouse, because the band at the waist is going to be cut at exactly your waist measurement. So when you want to wear your blouse, if you use like a cotton fabric that is not stretchy, it might be difficult for you to wear it. Or you can try it. As me, I just feel to be on the safe side, you can always use like a fabric that has a bit of stretch, so when you're wearing it, it's not difficult to wear. So my waist measurement is 28 inches. So since I've already folded my fabric into 2 like this, I'm just going to divide it by 2. So that gives me 14 inches. Then I'm going to add 2 inches sewing allowance to that. The height of my band is 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches we removed from the length of our blouse earlier, but because I want my band to be on fold, that is, I want it on fold, so I'm going to 1.5 times 2, that's 3 inches. So I'm going to measure 3 inches lengthwise this way. So by the time I'm done, once I fold this, I'll have 1.5 this way, 1.5 this way. I hope you get the drifts. And then I'm going to cut this into 2. So this will be for the front, and this will be for the back, and then it's going to be on fold this way. So this is what this would look like. If you place your facing this way, right sides together, and then you sew down by a 1/4 inch round. So once you are done doing that, that is after you must have finished the raw edge of this part. So after you must have finished doing that, then you turn it inside out, iron flat, and then you can either top stitch if you want the stitches to show on the right side, or you use your hemming glue to iron this down to keep it in place, or you can use your hemming stitches also to sew this down if you don't want your stitches to show on the other end. So I'm just going to do all of that now, and then Once I'm done doing that, I'll come right to the side here and fold by 1 inch to keep it neat, and also do the same for the other side. So now that I'm done sewing the sides, all I have to do now is to sew in my gather stitch at the hem of my blouse. So once I'm done sewing the gather stitch at the hem of my blouse, then I would have to gather this back into my band here. So I'll gather it back to my actual waist measurement here, and this band is for the front. So once I'm done gathering this for the front, I'll put it into this for the front, and then once I'm done doing that, I'll do the same also for the back and gather it also into this for the back. So I'm just going to do all of that now. And now the next thing is to join it right sides together. So you place it together like this, and then we're going to sew right sides together. But then to sew right sides together, we're not going to sew all the way till the end. We are only going to measure. You can measure something like maybe 3 inches from this part here. I hope you can see what I'm showing you. So maybe 3 inches from the hem here, then you just mark it down. Or you can go higher than that, it depends on you. So let's just do 3 inches from the hem, and then I'll sew by 1 inch at the side. And that's basically all there is to it. So I decided to increase the length of my sewing. You know, I measured 3 inches earlier, so I didn't like how exposed it was, so I increased it to like 6 inches. Or better still, the best thing you can do is to just from your shoulders here, from this point here, just measure 10 inches. So wherever that gets to, you stop there. So this is where mine stopped. This is my neckline and my facing turned and ironed down. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to type it in the comment section, and I'll reply as soon as I can. Please don't forget to tap the subscribe button, guys. That's very important. And check out these 2 tutorials right on top of your screen if you haven't yet seen them before.